All right, day 2 of my magical occult manifestation, whatever you want to call it, vlog. And today I want to talk about cleaning. I was trying to think of something a bit more exciting to talk about, but I wanted to just follow my intuition with this series because that's sort of trying to play into it a whole little bit. And intuitively, I just felt like what was coming up for me was to talk about cleaning. As I thought about this, I was going through the house, cleaning everything up. I mean, you can see in the background behind me just how messy the place is. You probably thought I was going to say how clean the place is, considering I just said that I've been cleaning all day. But no, the place behind me is, still looking quite messy. But I have been spending a lot of time cleaning today. And as I've been going through this process of cleaning, trying to make my environment more nice, a lot was actually coming up and coming to me, which was beneficial to talk about. And one of those things was how cleaning ties in with energetic clearing. And what came to me as I was cleaning was that, okay, what you're actually doing is energetic clearing. And that is actually what's important. Not so much the cleaning itself, but it's the same thing. Energetic clearing is the same thing as cleaning. If you think about it, as you clean, you are removing objects that are holding onto latent energy. You're removing dirt that is holding onto latent energy. And not only that, but what your environment is communicating to you on a subconscious level, well, that will start to form your beliefs. That will start to form your self-identity. That will start to form your view of the world around you. And what are those messages telling you? What are they telling your subconscious? And what is that going to do to the sort of mental energy that you're putting out there and how that's going to affect the world around you? It's the law of attraction, isn't it? Like attracts like. If you're living in a dirty environment, what is that? What is that going to attract into your life? It's going to attract literal dirt, for starters, and it's going to attract the sort of chaos that your mind is sort of interpreting your environment as. As I began clearing up, I realized that all of these things were coming to me because I was clearing blockages. If you think about a lot of this language, it kind of makes sense, right? You are clearing blockages out of your system as you are clearing blockages in your environment. I'm sure you've heard about feng shui, but in Western colloquial terms, we sort of describe almost anything as feng shui when it comes to controlling our environment so as to control the flow of energy. And that's somewhat accurate, but I mean, like, feng shui actually has like a quite detailed and rigid sort of system of how things are meant to be, and like a whole sort of myriad of reasons behind that don't necessarily tie into a lot of what other people might believe. It's very sort of specific and tied in with culture. I realized that all of these things were coming to me because I was clearing my environment. Now you see, if your environment is telling you that this is a messy environment, your life is messy, your life is a bit chaotic, like you can't stay in control of your environment, you can see how this sort of chain of like cause and effect relationships come from just this one thing, just your environment being messy. It actually says a lot about you, whether you realize that or not. And because of that, any sort of magic you attempt to do, any sort of manifestation is going to be tainted by that. Not just like tainted by those beliefs, but also tainted literally by this stagnant, potentially negative energy. A good exercise for you to do is to go through your house, go through your room, and pick up potentially or look at, touch various different items and think about. Don't think too hard. Obviously you want some intuition to play into this as well, but feel into and think about what these items mean to you. What is it communicating to you? For instance, we've got some water bottles in the kitchen that are missing the lids. The lids are probably somewhere. In the meantime, we've got this item that is associated with loss, associated with dysfunction. It can't function properly without this lid. So it's associated with kind of useless old junk. It takes up space. It clutters the place. Nice little rhyme there. And it prevents that energy from flowing through. And when there's no energy flowing through, it limits the amount of energy that you have to summon and use for yourself, for whatever means you want to use them for. This is why, again, before you do any sort of magic, it's a really good practice to clear yourself and the environment energetically. And if possible, try to align the environment and yourself energetically to what it is that you're trying to achieve. Now, if your environment, again, is messy, it's going to produce messy results. It's going to produce bad outcomes. If, take for instance, your environment is full of literal poo or dirt, as is the case in this environment, largely because of the rabbits. You see, to be honest, we've had a bit of a string of bad luck recently. We've had a lot of bad things, kind of unfortunate, unlucky things happen to us, and it's put us in a bit of a rough position financially. Interestingly, a lot of these things come down to cleaning. They come down to cleanliness. The dishwasher, for instance, stopped working. Then the septic filled up and stopped working. We got that emptied out, it worked for a little bit, but it stopped working again. Now the toilet is full, and I think a lot of this stems from just the environment having literal poo in it from the rabbits. It's like on a subconscious level, you can smell that. You can smell excrement. This is a really embarrassing, disgusting sort of video. But we've become kind of used to it. But I've noticed sometimes when I've been out of the house for a long time and I come home, immediately I can smell, like the rabbits. It smells kind of like a bit of a dirty environment, because literally that is kind of what you're smelling. And on a subconscious level, even if you become used to it, you don't really notice it so much. On a subconscious level, you're thinking about that. You're thinking, okay, this is an environment which kind of stinks. This is an environment with a lot of shit in it. And so it kind of produces that. It produces breakages in the dishwasher, which has been fine for years. It produces breakages and blocks in the septic system, which brings more poop into our environment. And so how do you fix this? You gotta clean out the poop. You gotta clean your room. I know this is so cliche, kind of like Jordan Peterson kind of stuff, but I mean, it's helpful to anyone. I almost recommend doing that and getting on top of your environment before trying to take on anything else. And I know that's easier said than done. That is largely the reason why my environment looks like this, because I've been so busy. But the problem is that energetically actually kind of just increases the busyness in your life, increases the mental noise. It's communicating to you that there is more going on than what you're capable of controlling. And that is what you're going to produce. One of the best things you can do in terms of energetic practices, in terms of manifestation, in terms of magic, and in terms of your life in general, your health, your mental well-being, and your productivity, get your environment in order. Clean your house, clean your room, clean your garden. Go through that exercise where you walk around your environment and you feel and think into what things really mean to you. What is it communicating to you? And then maybe you'll start to notice how that is actually playing into what you are producing in your life. So I hope this has been helpful. It's only my second video, so if I found it helpful and you found some of these exercises or talking points useful or beneficial to you in any sort of way, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. It helps get the message out there, helps me for the algorithm, because I want more and more people to actually get good at this stuff. I was thinking earlier today, it's like, why do I want to do this? And it's because, man, this can really help people, I think anyway. And if not, it's going to at least be entertaining. If you didn't like the video, you got nothing out of it, that's fine. Thank you for watching this long though. Jeez, it's been almost 10 minutes. So nice work spending almost 10 minutes watching somebody you potentially don't like talk about something you're potentially not interested in. But feel free to leave a comment saying why you watched this, what you got out of it, and for your own benefit, how you're going to put what I'm talking about here into action. By putting that down into writing, you solidify it in your mind. You put it out into the world. Literally, you put it out on the internet. Everybody that reads that, they're lending their mental energy towards that statement. So when you say, this is what I got out of it, this is what I'm going to do, people are putting their mental energy towards that. So help yourself, help others, leave a comment, help me, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.